The Darth Vader Legends in 3D half-scale bust by Diamond Select and Gentle Giant. A collectible bust that falls a little bit below most impressive and right around the be careful not to choke on your aspirations. I do love the Legends in 3D half-scale line, but remember, this ain't a statue commercial. It's a Red Cup review. Welcome to the channel. Hey Rob Banks, how's the bust statue collection coming along? Well, from where I'm sitting, not too bad if I do say so myself. See, on this channel, we film things out of order sometimes, and in the next section, when we take a closer look at Vader, we look at the paint and the sculpt, and all the good, the bad, and the ugly that makes this statue what it is. I gotta tell you, I go in a little bit too hard on him. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh, because I was on the other side of the camera just now, and I noticed that from a little bit further away, he actually doesn't look that bad. Where the helmet sits a little bit too high from where the face mask is, it throws the sculpt off just a little bit. But you really notice that when you're right on top of it. When you're a little bit further away from our collectibles, like when you have them up on your display shelves, you might not notice it as much. This is the perfect line to get into if you're the type of collector that likes a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some Star Wars, DC, Marvel, The Crow, The Muppets even they got a little bit of everything. Link down below, Entertainment Earth. You get all your Diamond Select collectibles in the link in the description down below. Anyways, I digress. He looks great when he's in the lineup. I wouldn't necessarily line them up like this, but this is to give you guys an idea of how each individual collectible stacks up against one another. And I think they all look great. I got to get my hands on the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I'm hoping they do a Kermit the Frog because that'll make me go back and get the animal. I just really like these things. They all fall under the $200 range, between $120 to $200, so in that budget range. And they also are kind of heavy. They feel quality, right? So there's like a quality to price kind of scale, as us collectibles have to realize that we're not paying exorbitant amount of prices for, like, let's say a Prime 1 statue. But these don't feel cheap either, right? So within what it is in that range, I think they check all my boxes as far as I'm concerned. So, next section, we take a closer look at the Darth Vader bust, and here's how they look in my collection. Let's get on with the review of Vader himself. Just like Darth Vader was moments away from a killing stroke on his old master Obi-Wan Kenobi, only to have him dematerialize in front of his very eyes and become one with the Force. This is how I feel. That is the metaphor I'm using for this bust. It's got some really great things about it. Some things I absolutely love. The paint in the helmet. The paint on the cape especially is top notch. The base is really cool also. Even the shape of the face is fine. The fact that the helmet sits just a little bit too high above the eyebrow line throws the sculpt off just enough to make it look a little too thin. And it's just inaccurate. It's just sitting too high above the eyebrow line. And that is unfortunate because from certain angles, like maybe that one, or maybe from a little bit higher up, if you were standing higher up and looking at it, like not totally down, you wouldn't notice it. But when you're right up on top of it, you do. And like a stack of cards, sometimes something like this will make the entire statue or the sculpt or whatever fall apart for a certain collector. It doesn't for me. I'm a little bit biased when it comes to these Legends in 3D half-scale busts, but when it comes to Vader and his helmet or something like this, it just misses the mark, and it's about a pencil width thick, between where it's supposed to be riding, the top of the helmet, and to here. Look, I'm going to give you guys a side-by-side view over on this side of the screen here, and you can see how it's just supposed to rest a little bit lower above the eyes. So that's a big, big nitpick. I'm taking off a full cup for that. Unfortunately, I have to, but there are things that kind of sort of save this depending on how you're looking at it. First of all, something that's standing out to me and should to you also is the paint on the face. You can see that there's black over here, like glossy black, black over in this corner, and then silver, right? And the black over in here. I'm like, what's with the mismatched paint? It's actually accurate to Vader's helmet. Vader's helmet in New Hope had like this mismatched pattern going on that I never noticed, kind of like the Mandela effect when it comes to C-3PO's silver leg that I never noticed up until about 5 years ago. I never noticed this about Vader's mask either, but this is quite accurate. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is the New Hope version of Vader because of, even though that he's supposed to have the shawl hanging up over his chest piece here, like his undergarment, so to speak, should be hanging over. So you would think that maybe it's a conglomeration of all different versions of Vader. Just this base in particular reminds me of something out of A New Hope. And I found it pretty odd that they didn't go with maybe his lightsaber the way they did with the Kylo Ren statue in order to kind of have them all uniform. Like maybe all the Darth Lords of the Sith should have had like their different bases be their lightsabers. Although this looks a little bit more like something that was like in the color motif of A New Hope. There was a lot of black and whites used in that movie. It's still nice. It still looks cool. It still fits the idea of Vader. Maybe they should have did like a little bit more of, maybe have the whole piece come down and have like that chest piece, right, with the different lights and buttons on it or something like that. That would have been cool. I'm not going to judge it based on what it isn't as opposed to what it is. And here's something that is really awesome about it, and that is the cape and the paint job on the cape. I think it looks excellent. It actually looks like real cloth. So the sculpt is amazing on the cape. Right, the way the light catches it in the sculpt is really great too, because they use different levels of blacks in there, right? They have like a matte black, and they have a very light matte black, almost like a pale black, right? Used in certain corners. This isn't just the light catching it. Even with the naked eye, you can see this. You don't just need bright lights on this to notice this. And then there's darker blacks up in here. So the paint job in the cape was really well done. So that's very cool. Another thing I got to point out about this is that the paint jobs on the Legends in 3D half-scale busts are getting better and better as they go along. It's not nearly as hit and miss as some of the other ones. Even though the face paint over here seems like it's mismatched, it's actually accurate. But I said that already. So let's try to move this up a little bit to give you guys, here's like a small gripe, and that's that. See this like little line right here where the paint could have been a little bit tighter right under the eye. I mean, that's like something you're not going to notice unless you're standing right up on top of it, you know. It almost looks like it's the way the light's catching it too, so that's not that bad to begin with. The eyes are blacked out, which is pretty cool. They don't have that reddish hue effect that some of the older, Vader's mask actually has that. Not to stutter and fall over myself, but Vader's mask actually has like a blackish, reddish thing going on in his eye lenses. Underneath the helmet, I don't know if you guys could see it. I'm going to try to lean it back. There's actually sculpt up underneath the helmet. You guys can't really catch it, but up under here, you could actually see other parts of his helmet as if it was sculpted in two different parts, but they needed to get the helmet to rest just a little bit lower. Damn it, I can't say that enough. There's no bleed between the gold pieces, though, and everything else, and there's no bleed out of the paintwork from his eyes to around the rest of his face mask and the silver. The helmet itself has got an excellent shiny black paint job. Let's spin this sucker around. It looks really nice. Really shiny. Love the way it catches the light. Very cool with the paint on this. It's not shiny black, matte black. It's totally shiny. It's totally very well done. This is something that you don't think you could mess it up, but it can be messed up because then you can have like fingerprints or paint splotches. There's none of that. There's nobody like holding it and leaving a fingerprint on it. So this is all very well done. Now we're going to try to take another closer look up at the base. Okay. There you go. There's a look at the base, a little bit better, and all the paint lines are pretty sharp. There's a little bit of a nit right up in there where my thumb is, but other than that, it's pretty awesome. Number 284 out of 1,000. You can hear I'm struggling to hold this up because this is actually quite a heavy piece, which is something else that's very cool about this. It really makes you feel like you're getting something of quality, at least when you touch it and hold it and feel it. It's got that cold feel, right? It's not plasticky feel. It's got that nice, you know, ooh, this is a premium feel to it. And it's heavy, okay? I joke around on this channel a lot about these busts where you could take this and smash it over somebody's head and kill them with it. This is definitely one of those pieces. You can grab it up around here. I would move it from here. I definitely wouldn't grab it around. You don't want to snap off these pieces because this thing isn't made of concrete, but you can grab it up around the base here and move it around, right? And that's how I would move it around my collectible room if I had to move it from one spot to another. So there you have it. That is my review. I am taking away points, major points for this here. major points. The paintwork is like a 4.5 out of 5. The sculpt, it looks accurate to me. I'm happy with it. It's just this piece right here, and I can't state that enough. So, rounding third, coming away to hone and getting thrown out at the plate, or falling 1 yard shy of the Super Bowl win, the way the Tennessee Titans did all those years ago against, I believe it was the Rams. This is it, man. You have it. The Darth Vader 3D half-scale bust by Diamond Select. Look, it looks actually perfect from that angle. It looks pretty good over here. But head on, I don't know. There's just something about it that makes it look a little too thin. This needed to sit lower so that it's the back of the helmet sat lower behind his shoulder, which would have widened him out a little bit. But it is what it is, because it also has that little bit of a skinny effect. Because it's a bust, they cut it off at the shoulders and they just have the cape draped down. So it's a very vertical piece. And to add a little bit of thickness and beefness to it, a little bit more imposingness, something as slight as moving the helmet down, I know I'm repeating myself here, would have added to that effect, to add a little bit of horizontalness to the very vertical feeling bust that this is. But anyways, I digress. Would I keep this in my collection? Definitely. If you have the Kylo Ren, it's a must-have. If you're getting the Boba Fett statue or the Mandalorian statue, that Boba Fett statue, Legends in 3D Boba Fett, looks next level awesome. So definitely go check that out. There's a link in the description below to order yours from Entertainment Earth. If you guys like statues and stuff, you guys can check out there. Get your Legends in 3D half-scale stuff. If you're not a fan of that stuff and you're like other diamond collectibles, there's a ton of it in the link below to Entertainment Earth. Go check that out. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. That's it. Let us know what you think of the Darth Vader's Legends in 3D half scale. What do you think of Vader? And enough. Enough is enough, guys. We'll see you on the next episode. Take it easy.